Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to Flight Clips. I am your host, Ricardo Cumberbatch, and today we are talking to Luis Martinez-Fernández. He's a public speaker and historian with decades of international experience who will provide a unique perspective on politics, Latino matters, education, and wealth building, and a whole lot more. Please have a listen. Luis, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for this invitation. And I'd love to connect with the young people on the other side.
Okay, well, users have a few questions that they would like to hear your answers tonight. The first question is, tell us a little bit about your profession and the industry in which you're currently working. I know you're a public speaker. I know you're a historian. Let us know a little bit more about what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, let me start by saying that my profession is wearing many hats. I am a university professor. That's my primary job. But I've always been very interested in connecting with the outside world and not to just inhabit what they call the ivory tower, right? So you need to connect with people outside of the universities. And there are different ways of doing that. One of them is through writing. I love writing, and anybody interested in becoming a writer, the first assignment is read. You can't become a writer without reading. So I love to write books about the Caribbean and Latin America. I have a few of those. It's a wonderful way of connecting with people that you don't even know. It's a fascinating thought to have. I'm here chatting with you, and perhaps somewhere in the Midwest, a student taking a history of Cuba class has fallen asleep just reading my book. It's a wonderful way of connecting with the rest of the world, and hopefully they don't all fall asleep. Now, more recently, and this is something that is very special to me, and I want to share with the young audience, and that is that I am 60 years old, and at this age, I was able to reinvent myself. And I have the energy of a 20-year-old as far as new ideas and embarking in new projects. And part of what has allowed me to do this is many years of investment. These are things that don't happen overnight. I have a PhD, and it took many years to get that. And of course, all of the books that came after. So one of the topics is wealth building. And there are different kinds of wealth, if Mr. Ricardo would allow me to say that. And sometimes you have to invest in intellectual, educational wealth. And then later, you may see the fruit of that. By the way, there's a lot of talk out there about which professions provide young people with the best paying jobs. In other words, what do you need to study? Let me tell you the way I see it. I hope that we can turn this upside down and ask the question, how much will you be making in your last job? Or when you're in your 50s, 60s, even into your 70s? And how much do you enjoy what you do? I followed my heart. My heart was in education. I'm a college professor. My heart was in writing. I am a writer. And Ricardo, you've heard me say this before. I am the happiest person alive because I was able to pursue a dream, but pursuing a dream is not on top of a pillow. You pursue a dream fighting hard and hard and hard. And the more people that tell you you can't do it, the harder you need to do it. And my experience is, having talked to many people, you will get there. Not that it's easy, but you will get there.
So on your
the role of mentors. That
yeah,
was another
I was going to
question.
say, yeah, on your road to being Zen, to having all the to being doing everything that you wanted to do in your life. What were mentors? Do you have any mentors in particular that helped you on that road?
Sure, I would not be here without mentors. I would not be here without role models. And beginning in my house, you can see the background behind me. It's books. When I grew up, my father read, and he bought books, and I was surrounded by books. And I remember when he took me to bookstores, and that is a legacy. That's a gift. Not everybody has that, but we can all find a mentor somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily have to be your biological father. There are people out there, pastors, people like Ricardo, who care about your well-being, your financial well-being, and your prosperity. So I had some wonderful mentors at the University of Puerto Rico, where I studied. And guess what? I imitated them. And they wrote and I read. And some of them wrote columns in newspapers. And I was in admiration of that, just having your little photograph in a newspaper and having tens of thousands of people reading what you write, not just because of vanity, although there's always some of that involved, but because you have the ability to touch people with your ideas, with your way of seeing the world, and hopefully to turn it into a better world. I remember the first job I got, a neighbor who was a college president, and he gave me my first university job. I'll never forget him. I'll never forget that he opened those doors. Now, if we don't have a mentor, we must seek out a mentor. People that you trust in your life, people who may be, relatives or may not be relatives. In Boy Scouts and a number of the Boys and Girls Clubs, any organization will be able to offer you that. The second part of the equation is, to whom much is given, much is expected. And that's why I enjoy spending time with young people and stimulating them to study and to prosper in every sense. We measure prosperity just in the monetary sense. No, you prosper spiritually, you prosper socially, you prosper culturally. I think all of those come together. So if you've received mentorship, it is your responsibility to give back to the community and mentor somebody else. The financial side. Okay. Well, let me tell you my thoughts on the financial side. I happen to think that the most important thing in terms of accomplishments is to be a happy person who is a productive person and who loves and is loved. Well, professor, are you a philosopher? Are you a poet? No, I'm none of that. I'm just realistic, because as time goes on, you realize what really matters. Well, let me not give you the wrong impression that you can be a poet and a guitarist and get along with that, because it's very hard, or a basketball player. I thought when I was 15 that I was going to play for the Cincinnati Reds. Imagine that. I never made it. That was just a dream, and it's fine to have dreams. But it's important. The first investment to financial well-being is education. Study after study reflects that if you have a high school diploma, you're going to make roughly twice as much as if you don't have one. If you have a bachelor's degree, you're going to make twice as much as somebody who doesn't have one and just has a high school diploma. There are other ways of doing it. Not everybody has to spend, like I did, 12, 14 years at the university. Actually, I've spent more than that, because I entered the university at age 18 and I'm 60 and I never left the classroom. That's how much I love it. Some ideas. Well, it's important to postpone rewards, right? You get your first check and there's an electronic equipment that you've been thinking about, and there goes your first check. I'm not criticizing that, but I also want to let you know that if we postpone some of those rewards, if we save money, if we're frugal, that is a way of building wealth. And I'm not a wealthy man, but thank God I'm a comfortable person who lives comfortably, and I don't want any more. I'm not in debt either. It's just a matter of being disciplined and methodic. These are my dreams. What does it take for me to get those dreams or to get to those dreams? So my encouragement is be disciplined. Never tell yourself no, because there are plenty of people out there who are ready to tell you no. I talk with young people all the time. Oh, I don't know whether I'm qualified for this job. Well, it's up to them to disqualify you. You just show up, do your best, but don't tell yourself no. And that is another lesson that I've learned over the years.
Well, Luis, thank you very much. And I'm sure our users will really appreciate the time that you spent with us tonight. And hopefully they will take your words of wisdom. Again, thank you very much for the time. Really appreciate your talk.
My pleasure, my friend. Take care. And young people out there, just go for it. Don't let anybody tell you no.
All right. Thanks. Thank you very much, Luis. Have a good night.
Take care, my friend.
Okay. All right. Bye.